What's up, folks? Sean, the Average Angler. We are back out in the garage with a beginner series for finesse fishing. This one's going to be on tying your leader to your braid. Why do we use braid on spinning gear? Well, there's multiple reasons. Number one, it tends to cast much better. Okay, we can use a little stronger line. It casts much better. You can feel better because there's no stretch in the braid. And depending on the technique you're fishing, less hook set required to penetrate the fish's mouth with said bait. I like to use the FG knot. However, the FG knot is not always the easiest knot to tie, but I did find something that helps me, works well for me. So I'm going to show you how to do the FG knot. Your braid, we're going to use 8-pound Abrazex leader material. I saved my bulk spools of the line left on them when there's not enough for a reel for leader material. This is my garage setup. I try to prep these ahead of time. Okay, so what we need, we got our tool here, and I'll tell you where to get these. They're really inexpensive. There's other ways to do it. I just find this to be the easiest with my big clumsy mitts and my eyes. So we're going to take our tool. I'm going to take some line. We're going to roll it around there. Now this is spring loaded. See here? That's so you can keep some tension on the line. What I found is that by using this, my knots have gotten smaller, and I think that's just because they're tight the whole way. Give myself a little more slack here because I'm actually redoing a rod that I used yesterday, and it got pretty chewed up down in a rock pile I got caught on the end of the day. Okay, so we're gonna take our leader material and about 8 inches. Okay, we can always trim it. And we're gonna wrap it around this other one. And on the back here, you'll see these little toggles. That just locks it in place. Okay, so we got our length of leader line there. That's a wee bit longer than what we need. And I'm going to hold that right there with my fingers, okay? And now I'm just gonna trim this down a little bit. I want about 3 inches sticking past there. And we're coming over the top. Pinch it with my fingers, go left, under, then over, then right, come in under, bring it out over. And then you're gonna pull it tight and pinch it again and hold it. We're gonna do this. I found with this, I was doing it a lot more. 12 to 13 times, okay? With left, then right being one. And if you get too much line out on your tag end here, it gets harder and harder because it starts catching on other things. So that 3-inch is pretty darn good. And we want to keep pulling it tight. And I'll show you why in a minute. You see how small that little knot is there. Okay, but you got to keep it tight in order to do that. So every time you go one over under, snug it again, okay? And you'll see that it's pulling these ends in. That's not a problem. Now you see how I struggle with this. You just imagine if I was trying to do all this myself without the, call it the added hand here that's helping me. But it's not just that this is easier for me, it's that the knot tends to come out much better, okay? It's stronger, it's smaller. Okay, I'm gonna say that's good. So we're gonna pinch those. I'm going to release the tag end side of the braid. Then I'm going to release the leader, and we're gonna take the leader end down to where the tag end was and just fasten it there so we can tie the knot off. Okay, so we'll take our fluorocarbon tag end and run it up the braid side, and we're going to take our braid tag and we're just going to do an overhand knot to cinch that in. Okay, there we go. You can see, or maybe you can't, how small that knot is right there. Okay, we're going to do a couple more of those overhand knots here just to make sure there's no slippage or anything. Take my clippers, trim that fluorocarbon small as possible so that we don't have anything catching the eyes as we're casting out. And just do a few more overhand knots is all I do. 3 or 4 is fine. And I pull it taut there and then slide it down to the top of the knot, okay? Okay, that's good. Take my scissors. And I cut it down. You'll see a little piece of tag there, okay? That's the braid. It's not going to hurt nothing. When our knot's done, we're going to take it out of here. Pull it taut, make sure it's good, and that one is good. And then we're ready. We're just gonna, threw a treble hook at myself. We're just gonna measure off 2 arms width. I'm 6'4", so that's a lot of weight or a lot of length. And that's what we got, okay? The FG knot, in my opinion, is the best knot for joining braid to leader on a spinning rod, okay, with light line. I don't know about saltwater. This isn't a saltwater video. They may use different knots with bigger, heavier line, but that gives me enough. You can see there's my knot, okay? Here's my leader. That's a 7-foot rod. Gives me enough leader material to work with for a day. Now, like I said, you get the fluorocarbon properties, so you're not wasting your fluorocarbon. Braid lasts a very long time. So yes, braid is expensive initially. This is the Sunline Almight. It's a sinking braid. I just started using it, tested it out yesterday. It's fantastic stuff. I love it. I ordered some more to do my other reels with. I was so impressed. But this will improve your spinning rod fishing. It doesn't matter whether you're drop shotting a shaky head, a Ned rig, or you're throwing a weightless Senko. I do it with all of them. Every one of my spinning reels is full of braid, okay? And by the way, don't fill it with braid. Put on some mono to take up some spool. I usually like to have 100 yards of braid on my spinning reel, all right? Sean the Average Angler, bringing you another beginner series. There will be links in the description for the tool. I really like this. I'm telling you folks, I tied my FG knots without it. They're much better knots. Smaller, tighter, stronger with this. For me, okay? If you have your own way of doing it, that's great. Like, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.